Are you or someone you know in debt? Let's get real. It's 2019. Of course you or someone you know is in debt. But what if I told you that if you have more than one debt, there is an optimal way to get out of debt as quickly and inexpensively as possible? And the method to figure that out is actually really easy. We're going to learn about it today, so get comfortable and ready to learn. Hey everybody, I'm Nadav Reese, the financially savvy parent that you always wish you had. Sure is cold in here. You know why? Because today, to learn about getting out of debt, we're going to be talking about snowballs and avalanches. The two most popular methods for getting out of debt are the Snowball Method and the Avalanche Method. And we're going to learn about them today. Now, financial experts will usually recommend only one of the two methods, usually the Snowball Method. But it's not always one size fits all. And with a little bit of math, you'll be able to figure out which one of the methods is best for you. Math? Did you say math? Don't worry. I told you. I'm your financially savvy parent. I love you and I'm going to take good care of you. I'm not going to let anything, especially math, stand in the way between you and your financial success. Now, I'm going to put a link down in the description to a website that will do all the work for you. It'll figure out all the math, and you can run both methods, the Snowball Method and the Avalanche Method, and figure out which one is best for you to pay off your debt. For either method, there are a couple pieces of information that we're going to need, and you could find that information on your credit card statement or your loan statement, whichever it might be. Number one, we need to know what the minimum payment is on each of the loans or credit cards that you have. Number two, what is the total amount owed on each of these debts? Number three, what is the interest rate on each of these debts? One more thing that we're going to need to know is how much extra you're going to be able to put towards these debts each month in addition to the minimum. So, for example, an additional $100 or $200 each month that you're going to pay in addition to the minimum to help get yourself out of debt. If you just pay the minimum on each payment, it's going to take forever to get out of debt. So this extra amount of money is going to help speed things up significantly. So literally any amount will help, but the more the merrier. Now, when you have all that together, we'll meet back here and we'll learn about the methods. Go ahead. I'll wait. Okay, listen, I'm too excited about paying off debt. Let's just get started. First up is the Snowball Method. Now with the Snowball Method, you're going to arrange your debts from the smallest amount owed to the largest amount owed. And now you're going to pay your minimum payment plus that extra amount that we talked about towards your smallest amount owed. That is your first snowball. Now for all the other payments, you're going to pay the minimum. Now you're going to pay the same amount each month towards that first debt. And the same goes for all the other debts. From today forward, today's minimum is the amount that you're going to keep paying. Set it in stone. Because if you don't do that, you just go lower, it's going to cost us even more and take even longer to pay off your debts. We don't want to spend more than we have to. So what happens when we pay off that first debt? Do we stop just paying that money? No, of course not. We're going to roll that into the second debt. So now, for the second debt, we're going to be paying the minimum of the first debt, plus the minimum of the second debt, and that extra amount that we spoke about before. So now, instead of having just that small snowball, your next snowball is going to be just a little bit bigger. So now you're just going to keep on going until you pay off that second debt. Just keep doing the exact same thing. And eventually, you're going to pay off that second debt, and you're going to have even more to pay towards your next debt. And you're going to keep doing that until you get out of debt. Just roll them one into the next to the next. Now, it could take years, but without this method, it'd take you years and cost you even more. You just keep on doing that until you're out of debt. That is the Snowball Method. Now, the next method is the Avalanche Method. Now with the Avalanche Method, we're going to sort all of our debts based on interest rates, highest to lowest. With the Snowball Method, it was based on balance from smallest to highest, but with the Avalanche Method, it is based on interest rates from highest to lowest. Now the same thing applies like it did before. You're going to pay the first minimum plus that extra amount towards your highest interest payment debt. Then, once you pay that one off, you'll pay the first minimum plus the second minimum plus that extra amount towards the second highest interest rate debt. Do that, so on and so forth, until you pay off all your debts. That is the Avalanche Method. With the Avalanche Method, we're slowing down the effects of compound interest, which is the most powerful force in the universe. For the sake of understanding, we're going to use some sample numbers. But don't worry about it. For the explanation, I'm going to go very light on the numbers. We're going to let the website do all the math, so fear not. Remember, I'm your financially savvy parent. I'm here for you. I'm going to make it easy for you. So here are our sample numbers. Not too long ago, the credit card companies gave us a little bit more credit than we knew how to be responsible for, so unfortunately, we're in debt. First is a card with a balance of $5,000. We maxed it out. The minimum monthly payment is $125, and the annual interest rate is 14.9%. Up second is another card that again we maxed out, this time for $4,700. The minimum payment for this card is $120, and the annual interest rate is 15.9%. Our final one, and the only one that we didn't max out yet, is a balance of $600. The minimum monthly payment is $24, and the annual interest rate is 12.5%. Okay, time out. So we're in debt. It's in the past. Now, we're listening and we're learning from our financially savvy parent, that's me, and we're going to get out of debt. We're going to do it as easily and as painlessly as possible. So to do that, we're going to go over to undebt.it, and we're going to go to their calculator. The link is in the description. Now you can fill in your debts there, one per row. You can call them whatever you want. I call them credit card 1, 2, and 3. It really doesn't matter. What I like about this website is that it allows you to pick a certain amount that you want to pay towards your debt. And that amount is going to remain constant as you pay. If you didn't have that constant amount, what would happen is, as the balances went down, you'd pay less and less each month. And you'd still be getting out of debt, but it would just take you longer. By having that constant amount, you keep hitting those balances harder and harder each month relative to the amount owed until you get out of debt. With these sample numbers, I ran both methods, the Snowball Method and the Avalanche Method, to see which one would win. There's some other methods there that you could try. Maybe those will work out better for you. Let's compare Snowball and Avalanche and see which one wins. And before we do, take a moment and comment down below which method you think will win and why. Let's get ready to rumble! Here we go. Running Snowball versus Avalanche, we can see that Avalanche won by $27.62. That means that if you paid your highest rate first, rather than your smallest debt first, with these sample numbers, you would save $27.62. Remember, your numbers will be different. You should run your numbers instead of these sample numbers and see which numbers work best for you. Now, I wanted to make some changes and see how the tests played out. In the second test, I dropped credit card 2 down to just $2,700 from the original $4,700. Will the Avalanche method still win? If so, by how much? Turns out, when we use our handy-dandy calculator, in this round, the Avalanche method wins yet again, this time by $25.57. Avalanche is 2 for 2. For the third and final test, we're going to reset our numbers, and then this time we're going to increase the interest rate of credit card 2 all the way up to 18.9%. If you had some financial troubles in the past, your interest rate could be this or even higher, so let's see how that works out. With a little quick handy-dandy math done by the website, turns out, drumroll please, the winner is Avalanche Method. So how exactly did the Avalanche Method win 3 for 3? It's actually really simple. It's just math. The Avalanche Method focuses on paying off the cards that have the highest interest rates first. Interest rates and the compound interest that they produce is the source of growth of these debts. Now the Avalanche Method focuses on slowing down and then killing the source of growth of these debts. And if you can kill the source of growth, it allows your payments to have a greater impact each month. Now if the Avalanche Method works so well, why do so many experts recommend the Snowball Method? I think the answer to that is also simple. With the Avalanche Method, we're just focused solely on the numbers, solely on the math. We're just trying to figure out what's the fastest way to pay off all these debts, paying the least amount possible. But in each of these examples, how long did it take to pay off that first card? With the first sample numbers, it took 25 months. In the second example, it took 14 months. And in the third example, it took 27 months. 27 months to pay off the first of the 3 cards. Now with the Snowball Method, it'll take just 5 months in the first example to pay off that first card. It'll take 4 months in the second example, and 5 months in the third example. That means in just 4 to 5 months, you could have a small win under your belt. Now when you're going through and making all these changes and budgeting and doing all these things in your life, that can make a big difference for you. In the Avalanche Method, it took 1 to 2 years to get that small win under your belt. That's a huge difference. When all is said and done, how much does the Avalanche Method save? With our sample numbers, it's between $25 and $200. True, when it comes to the math, Avalanche does win. But with the Snowball Method, you get that emotional encouragement that can make a huge difference when you're going and making all these big changes in your life. Now it's up to you to run your numbers and figure out which method will work best for your financial situation. But beyond the numbers, you have to consider which method would work best for you emotionally. Whichever method you go with, just stick with it. It'll take time, but you will get out of debt. You got yourself into debt, and you can get yourself out of debt. Just stick with it. Once you get yourself out of debt, we can move on to much more exciting financial ventures. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which method you picked. If you learned something in this video, let me know what you learned. If you have a specific request for a video, if I can make it, I'm happy to make it. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe. I got more awesome content coming your way. Again, this is Nadav Reese, the financially savvy parent that you always wish you had, signing out. Math? Did you say math?